understand it's essentially the same unappreciative crowd full of scumbags from last night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 60 of the Scumbags Wrestling Podcast. My name is Sean, coming to you from London, Ontario, Canada. Be sure to subscribe to us on any of the 14 different podcast outlets that are available, including Podcoin, Stitcher, Spotify, and iTunes, just for starters. You can also join us on our Facebook page, Scumbags Wrestling, and email me at scumbagswrestling@gmail.com. Just this week, we're going to be debuting a new feature, including the Tyson Dukes Wrestle Factory, called The Production Line. It's a video of the students as they get ready to seek their next step into the wrestling world. We're going to see how they get built up from scratch, and it's tomorrow's stars being built today on the production line. On this week's episode, I'm joined by Chris Maloney of the Sharpshooter Podcast, and we're going to talk about the upcoming events for Smash Wrestling, this weekend's events all throughout Ontario, along with looking at AEW's upcoming events, looking back at New Japan's Dominion event, and Super Showdown that happened also last Friday from Saudi Arabia. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Are you looking to get into the wrestling business? Well, look no further than the Tyson Dukes Wrestle Factory, located right here in London, Ontario. Tyson has over 20 years of experience in the wrestling world, and he's even been brought down to the WWE Performance Center to be a guest trainer. We've already seen the likes of Jordan James, Kyle Boone, Violet Lee, Jim Strider, Pharaoh Bowman, Chris Mitchells, and many more. Plus, the new generation that are coming from the second group, such as Josh Pine, Shiloh, Nova, Frankie Ward, and many more. You don't want to miss your opportunity to learn from one of the best in Ontario, if not all of Canada, or the world, in Tyson Dukes. So that's the Tyson Dukes Wrestle Factory. It's open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, and located at 309 Exeter Road here in London.
Hey, it's Jody Thread, and you're listening to Scumbags Podcast.
And we're back. Just going to bring in Chris Maloney from the Sharpshooter Podcast. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing good. A little bit tired. I've been watching a kind of baby toddler all week, but other than that, things are good. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I've been ailing through a aching back for the last day at work. So yeah, we're just comfortably sitting on the couch right now as we do this episode. So it's pretty good. I'm in a comfortable spot and ready to talk wrestling. And to start that off, as we always do, it's Smash Wrestling time. Now, we just reviewed the last 2 shows, or 3, that they did here in London, and the 2 shows for the Northern Tournament. So they got a lot of material, and we saw that they were doing episodes 99, 100, 101, and 102, which will be coming up this next 4 weeks on the Fight Network. So they're not really doing anything until July 6th, where Smash Wrestling returns to the Franklin Horror Community Center for Just Add Wrestling. You were at the Franklin Horror Community Center with me for the Northern Tournament. What do you look forward to seeing when they return?
So we're talking London or Toronto?
This is the Toronto show on July 6th. Just Add Wrestling. It's the episode with Sean Spears making his return to Smash Wrestling, and it's also the semifinals of the Smash Wrestling Invitational Tag Team Tournament, which incorporates 5 other organizations throughout North America. And our finals have TDT versus Philly and Monroe Experience, El Reversos versus Killscreen, and Renegades versus the Untouchables.
Yeah, to me, I was just going to say, to me, it's interesting because it's a lot of new talent for me. Looking forward to seeing TDT. I think when was it, back in March or April, they were supposed to be here in London, and injury or weather, whatever the case may be, prevented them from coming down. And
yeah, they were supposed to make their debut in London, and unfortunately, I believe at a show in Quebec, they got put through a door, and got injured and couldn't make it down to London.
Yeah, and then you've got Sean Spears on the 6th, taking on Marcus Burke, who I'm curious about because I grew up in the Maritimes, and I still pay attention to Maritime Wrestling and stuff like that on Facebook, and he's one of the mainstays down there, so it'll be interesting to see how they match up. Burke looks like he's a monster. Dillinger, Sean Spears, not sure what kind of shape he's in. I mean, we saw him at the Casino Battle Royal, but he's not working a regular work schedule anymore, so it's be interesting to see if he's got any kind of ring rust in the one-on-one here, or whether or not he's in fact the perfect 10.
Yeah, and unfortunately we didn't get to see too much of him in that Casino Battle Royale. So they list Marcus Burke as the Violent Canadian, and he's coming to Smash Wrestling to take on Ty Dillinger, formerly Ty Dillinger, now Sean Spears, in his Ontario return.
He kind of looks like if you were to give John Greed a shave, head-wise, and then that beard, Burke kind of looks like him. So it'd be interesting to see the 2 guys together.
Yep. So then there's the semifinals, as I said, for the tag team tournament. TDT is coming representing FLQ. The Philly and Marino Experience is representing Wild Zero. El Reversos are representing PWA. Killscreen is representing Smash Wrestling. The Renegades are representing Innovative Wrestling. And the Untouchables are representing UCW. Which I imagine these 3 winners are going to go to a triple threat tag team match, which is scheduled to happen the next night here in London on July 7th, part of 10-10-10. The other match that has been announced as part of Just Add Wrestling is the Muscle is going to get a Smash Wrestling Championship match against the new champion, Kevin Bennett. Muscle, as we know, is a former bodyguard and part of the Kevin Bennett experience until Bennett kicked them to the curb along with Tank. And so Muscle kind of feels like he's owed one regardless of being kicked to the curb. And he called Kevin at home while he was with his daughter, and Kevin assumes that Muscle is a easy victory and actually agreed to having the match.
Yeah, I think this is number one, it's I think maybe Muscle's reward for going and reading the everybody poops thing in the ring there. So match should be interesting. I mean, they know each other well, obviously from Smash Wrestling and stuff like that, and the Muscles been given a little bit of a push as far as Smash goes, so it'd be a good match. The other thing was kind of comical. If you watch the YouTube clip was it almost seemed Batista-like when it was kind of like, give me what I want. And the Muscle kind of played on that. I don't know if it was on purpose, but that promo that the Muscle had did with Kevin Bennett kind of reminded me of the Batista one. So, very, very funny between the two of them. And it should be a good match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's nice to see maybe a little bit of a different mix or remix in the Smash Wrestling Championship title scene, since usually it's been occupied by the Pillars or Kevin Bennett. So Kevin giving somebody else an opportunity is a good thing. So the next night, it's 10-10-10 happening at the London Music Hall, July 7th, and the doors are going to open at 4 o'clock with bell time 5. TDT is making their debut. As you said, last March they were scheduled to be here, but due to injuries, sadly, they had to change plans. And so even if they are eliminated from the Tag Team Invitational tournament the night before, they are booked to come down here to London, and we'll look forward to seeing why Thomas Dubois and Matthew St. Jacques are so well loved by the Toronto audience, and now London will get to see them.
Yeah, it's interesting. As far as this show goes, I've got a little bit of mixed reaction going on right now based on the news. I think it was yesterday, the day before, that Smash announced. Now, talent-wise, as a wrestling fan, the card's stacked. I can't wait for it. But the wannabe journalist in me, so to speak, is kind of curious about what's going down and what happened. And do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, that was what was coming up actually next, was the fact that we had originally heard that there was going to be a tag team match involving the Ontario Four Horsemen, and that was going to have Cody Deaner teaming with Sean Spears, taking on Tyson Dukes and Derek Wilde. Danger Boy was scheduled to come out of a somewhat retirement and be part of that match, which was going to be really awesome to see the four best friends together in the ring, together battling it out against each other. But then Smash Wrestling announced that they will no longer have Derek Wilde on the July 7th event in accordance with Smash Wrestling's conduct policy. An update on a new match, it will be provided soon. Now, I know what you're hinting at, what you tried to do. I also looked on YouTube and various other outlets, including like CTV here in London, the London Free Press, and everything else, just to see what was going on, why possibly Derek Wilde is not going to be a part of it. It's ironic that last year, almost at the same time, we heard that Frankie TM was being stripped of the Smash Wrestling Championship, and you're able to find out why by Googling and finding out that there were some legal problems that Frankie TM was having. However, on this occasion, with Derek being pulled from the card, and there's comments of Smash Wrestling's conduct policy, nothing is popping up as far as Derek Wilde or his real name for anything that would give somebody a reason to see why he was pulled. What are your thoughts on it?
So my concern necessarily isn't seeing him in a match because, first and foremost, it's card subject to change, and Smash is going to do what's best for Smash, so to speak, and everything like that. The curiosity part of me is he doing okay? Did something happen? And it's interesting the way Smash had worded it against, I guess, their contact policy or whatever the case may be. And it's like I just said, Smash is going to do what's best for Smash. But as a guy in London, Ontario, and as a human being, I hope he's fine. I know he was on Facebook, and his Facebook has seemed to been privatized or deleted or whatever the case may be. And this news comes out, and you're talking about the four horsemen of Canadian indie wrestling or Ontario indie